Happy Monday afternoon, folks. Brad here from Squeaky Clean Comics, and we're fresh back from the East Coast Comic Expo. It was our 10th show. It was awesome. Had a great time, had a great experience overall, with the exception of I'm really old, man, and I can't really haul boxes the way I used to. Friday morning, we were lugging the boxes in, and I was dying. Like, my face was red and all this stuff, and, like, I'm there with my wife, and I'm there with all these people that are, like, my best friends, like, my family. And then, once we got all the boxes in, and then I left, I'm driving to go get an oil change at my guy Darren's place, and I hear CBC, and it's like, recognize the signs of a stroke. And, like, I had 4 of those signs 10 minutes ago in a room full of everybody that apparently loves me. Not one of them called 911, which is good because I was fine, but still, though, like, it was, I think there was even a betting pool to see if I was going to have a heart attack. I think there was. Anyway, so, yeah, I was fine, but I am getting too old for that. Yesterday was Sunday, and I was so bunged up. Like, I could not walk. My legs, my ankles, the back of my, it's the concrete floors. The concrete floors were killer. Anyway, so, other than that, though, what a blast. And, it's the same old thing. Like, leading up to the expo, I'm about as fed up with it as I can be, and then we have the expo, and it's a great time. The team came together great, like our committee. I want to give everybody a bit of props on that. Like, Craig is our volunteer coordinator. He did great. Derek kind of runs the show. Him and Kevy pretty much are kind of, Derek's like kind of there, and Kevy's like right there. And Kevy does like the finances stuff and a lot of the guest services stuff, or vendor services, I guess is what we would call it, that Kevy does. Scott Wallace, myself, and Brent and Derek are kind of the marketing committee. Brent does all the social media. I do the website and some social media stuff. Like, I'll boost posts if I think I'll talk to the boys and be like, "Hey, should we bump this up for ticket sales or whatnot?" And I think the strategy went good because I think we did show some growth this year over last year, so it was pretty good. Scott Tingley is there. He's on hand most of the day, just walking around helping people out. Same with Aaron Hudson, kind of he's more working the door type of thing. Adam Ricker is I guess he'd be medical. Like, if something happens and we need treatment, he's our resident medical guy. Like I said, Brent does a lot of the marketing stuff. He does all the Facebook, social media, Twitter, all that stuff, Instagram, that's all Brent. Dominic, who I didn't get to see at all, but she was doing cosplay stuff, and that's her thing, and she basically runs the cosplay side of it. And it sounded like they were having a blast, I'll tell you. There was a karaoke at one point, cosplay karaoke, and I don't think any of us really knew about it. Like, I don't know if she just did it on her own or what, but huge hit. Like, let's do that again next year. Then we get Giorgio, and Giorgio kind of, like, Tony White's like our main guest services guy. Like, he's the one that books the flights, and he's really smart. He knows all of these guys. Giorgio kind of schmoozes the guests. He knows a lot of them as well, so he'll pick them up and kind of charter them around. And then our after party is always at Giorgio's as well. So that's usually a good time. Our new guy, Keith, did a lot of ad sales for the booklet that we had. Like, he's the reason why we get coupons in it this year for guacamole and some of those restaurants. Matt Surrett, who most people would know, the big lovable Matt guy, he walks around and makes sure everybody's happy. And he's really good at that. And that's I think that's pretty much the whole team. Tony and Tony's guest services. Tony White. I mentioned that before, but other than that, it's like that's basically the crew, and then we have a ton of great volunteers that I couldn't possibly list them all off. But I'll say OBS because OBS will appreciate that. So I've got a bunch of comics I do want to kind of show you that I got and who I got them from. I walked around and got to spend time with pretty much all the comic vendors. I did some trading with Heroes Beacon. I got to see Nerdful Things the first time they were there this year, and they're a local, I don't want to say pawn shop, but secondhand collectibles type of cool shop. owned by Travis Furlong. And if you don't know, he's kind of a local rock legend. He was in a band called Glen Request Blues Band for a long time. I think he's won a bunch of awards, ECMAs and stuff like that. So if you're in town, go up Mountain Road. It's kind of not up Mountain Road. It's kind of in the middle of the city, Mountain Road. Nerdful Things, right by H&R Block. Great place. Then Josh and Ruben and Dino, I'll go through the trades. Me and Dino had probably the best trade of the day as far as my stuff goes. But I always like seeing those guys. And who else? Jim Johnson from Rainbow's End. Another one that I'm going to show you, a comic I picked up from him for the purpose of cleaning and pressing. Really nice book. We got Jean Rene. There's a bunch. I'm gonna start going through comics, and I'll come back to the vendors because there's a bunch of them. So the first one I want to show is the one that I got off of Jim Johnson at Rainbow's End. It is all messed up. Okay, I paid $50 for this. He had 40 on it, and I was like, I'm gonna give you 50 because I'm going to turn this into a $200 book. Transformers #1, Canadian price variant. All water damaged. I'm going to do a before and after on this guy because I'm pretty sure that's going to come out looking great. Then we have X-Men number 26. Nice 15-cent book. I'm not sure where I got that. There's a bunch of ones I picked up kind of randomly. Like there's a really cool guy. Him and his wife, his name was Brad, so I remember his name. I don't remember his wife's name, unfortunately. But he had inherited his brother's comic book collection, and it was called Al's Comics. It was just a couple booths down from Strange Adventures. So I get to talk to him and hear his story as far as that went, and I got a bunch of stuff from him. So, I'm pretty sure this came from him. Detective Comics 376, beautiful 12 center, gonna clean and press real nice. X-Men 113, I believe I got that from Strange Adventures. I'm not sure. I have a cool Strange Adventures story though in a second. A bunch of cool 12 cent or 60 cent, 35 to 6 cent Hulks. So there's going to be a bunch more of those coming in a second. This one here came from my buddy Donovan, who came over from the island. Donovan Ching, who I just love this kid and I love to see him. And he's a very, very welcome member of the community. So that was one of his auctions, and I picked that up from him a long time ago. And he was all over to see us and dropped it off. And we got the Daredevil 95. I'm not sure where I picked that up. Luke Cage number 15. Oh, these ones came from Jim McKenzie for sure. And Jim's one of my favorite vendors. He's just a sweet guy. He's just a really, really sweet guy, and I like shooting the poop with him and going through his bins because he always has such great stuff. This one came from Hero Speaking, and it's a pretty good cleaner and presser candidate. Like I didn't pay much for it, but like Star Wars number 2 is a pretty big key. So it's got the first appearance of a bunch of characters. So if I can get that for a good price and I clean it and press it and bump it up a little bit, I'm happy. This is one of my favorite books that I got from the whole show because I got it from Strange Adventures, and it's a beautiful, beautiful copy, and I'm going to clean it, and I'm going to press it, and it's going to look so good. But I was sitting there talking to Cal and his friend, and I didn't know who his friend was, even though I've met this friend a number of times. It was friggin' Steve McNiven, the guy who created Old Man Logan, sitting there with Cal. I go over and I go through Cal's bins and I'm shooting the poop with this random dude. I'm like, he looks familiar, but I don't know who he is. But Cal would invite us, me, Derek, and the boys from the expo. During HalCon, he has like a thing. And so we got to go a couple times. And one time Steve McNiven was there. And I got to party with Steve McNiven. And that was awesome. And I totally forgot what he looked like, I guess. And so I sat there with him for a bunch of time and didn't even clue in that that's who it was. And then I left and went down to Al's Comics and talked to Brad and his wife. And then Derek messaged me, Steve McNiven's at your booth right now? And I'm like, no way! And then I go and I look and I'm like, yeah, that was the guy I was just talking to. I'm fine. That's cool. But that was really cool. I had a first appearance of Old Man Logan 9.8 on the wall. And I think he was looking at that for a bit, which was kind of cool. So yeah, so I got to have a good chat with Cal at Strange Adventures and Steve McNiven. So that was, but I didn't know it was Steve McNiven. I picked up my first two supernatural thrillers from Heroes Beacon in St. John. So I got a couple bummy books. I don't really collect them, but I do kind of want to get into the thriller, the fear, the horror movie, or the horror comic books. I kind of dig those, so I probably will start working on those. Let's move along, because there's a bunch. So we got Superboy, number 12, Superboy 136. I have a couple of these. I've got one that's going to be cleaned and pressed shortly, but it's not as nice as this one. Nice Wonder Woman 174, 12 center, going Amanda's Wonder Woman run that I've been building up for her. Captain America 105, nice 12-cent cap. I have the full run, so this will probably maybe go to the collection, and then something else will come out. Nice Amazing Spider-Man. Okay, so we got a nice little run of Amazing Spider-Man. 97, nice 15 center. Nice 105. A 109, that's a little beat up. A 108, that's in pretty good shape. Here we go. So this is going to probably roll into discussing my trade with Dino, because this book was part of the deal. So this is one of my favorite books, 120, and I did a trade with Dino for a bunch of comics, and that was one of them. It was kind of the deal that I looked for. He came over and said, I want that slab, and that slab. And it was like $1,150. And I was like, awesome. So I went to his booth, and I want this. And I grabbed $1,100 worth of stuff. All good stuff that's going to be cleaned and pressed, and hopefully it'll be worth more and look better and all that jazz. So this Amazing Spider-Man 120 is one of those books. The order of how I bought these kind of got messed up. Like this I'm not sure where I got this. 192 and X-Men 119, and then an ASM. I think I showed that already. 98, and that needs a press. Then I got a bunch of Iron Man, and I believe I got these from Jim McKenzie. So Iron Man, nice Iron Man Hulk cover. Iron Man Madam Mask. Iron Man number 138. And I get big into Iron Man because Brent, who's on the committee with us, is a huge Iron Man fan. So we get an Avengers 34. And I got this for like crazy good price, and then I saw on the back of the board it's missing an ad. So I was like, oh, I'll get it. And then Shang-Chi number 28, and I believe that came from Jim McKenzie. There's a few. Now this one I got from Dino, Amazing Spider-Man 124. That was part of the trade. Then Iron Man 134. Just a bunch. There's 133, 111, 226. Okay, so I'll just show them all. Show them all kind of quick. So, and don't worry if I crink them a little bit. I'm going to press them. It's not like I'm hurting them any. But there are a couple bigger books coming up. And like these are, you know, even after I press them, they're not going to be very expensive. But yeah. I love these Hulks. This is the era that I'm kind of into right now. Oh, Captain Marvel. Burp. Okay, so those are all, I don't remember where they're from, but all from the same spot. Boom, 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 boom. Okay. So 281. Ghost Rider number 63. Fantastic Four 123, Silver Surfer. Another Ghost Rider, number 62. A lot of these are going to be going into the personal collection for sure. Daredevil 93. I don't have that. A lot of these I didn't have. Ghost Rider 61. Didn't have it. Daredevil 62. I do have it. This is really nice though. So if it's nicer than the other one. Daredevil 71. Needs a press. I could see in the reflection there. This is pretty good. So Daredevil 113. And moving on to some Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange number 12. Doctor Strange number 11. Doctor Strange number 21. Really nice high grade version of that. Straighten these up a little bit so you guys don't get mad at me. I know you guys can get mad at me if I don't do it soon. I'm just looking at the back of those books. They're filthy. Doctor Strange 15. Doctor Strange 16. I know my buddy Adam Ricker, who was our medic guy, he's getting into Doctor Strange, so he's going to dig those down the road. Ghost Rider 21. Daredevil 112. Ghost Rider 54. All sorts of good newsstands too. Ghost Rider 71. Ghost Rider 72. Ghost Rider 66. Luke Cage number 10. So the one just after the one where he goes to Doctor Doom's castle and bitch, where's my money for $200? Anyways, Hulk 179 and Hulk 224. So this last stack would be the one that has the majority of the bigger books that I got in the trade from Dino. So let me just kind of pull the, all right, let's do like a half a stack, so I don't want to mess anything up. So we got a Daredevil 65. Pretty sure I got that from Dino just because it looked really good. A Daredevil Black Widow 94. Do I have two of those? I might have two of these. Fantastic Four 81. Very nice high grade. High-ish grade. Like, it's pretty nice. Daredevil 37. Love this book. Obviously, I got a few of them. Then we got Daredevil 52. Same deal. Or 54. No, it's 52. Yeah, same deal. I love this cover. Nice white cover. Like, look how grimy it is. It's going to look awesome when old Brad's done with her. It's going to be all white and squeaky clean. Yeah, what we got here? I don't have this. Daredevil 45. So this is going in the personal collection. And we got Daredevil 51 and Daredevil 54. So the big trade still hasn't, I don't have those out yet. So we got also a Daredevil 60. Okay, now, most of these were involved in that trade. Okay, I'll grab a couple. I don't want to ruin any of them, because this is where you guys get mad if I drop a comic, okay? Amazing Spider-Man, 122. Very nice one. My buddy Murray Clack's already asking about it. I'm like, Murray, come on, I just got it. Leave me alone. But he'll probably get it. Detective 378. I don't think that was part of the trade, to be honest with you. But that was for Spider-Gwen. And it's like, no dings, no ticks, no nothing. If I do start setting them back in, that would be one that's going. And I flip-flop a lot on stuff. I might start getting back into sending them in for grading. Who knows? Hulk 142. Really nice condition. I think that came from Dino. Iron Man 35. First appearance of Jason Todd's Red Hood. That was part of the trade. This is part of the trade as well. I've got 3 of these now, but this is probably the nicest one, so this is the one that'll end up in the collection. The other 2 will go on the website. Then we got the last little bit here. Let's do this. So, what if Jane Foster with Thor? And I do now. I think I've got 3 of those, so 2 of them will go on the website. And then Hulk number... is it 272, which is the 2nd or 3rd Rocket Raccoon. Teen Titans, first Nightwing. Marvel Spotlight, Son of Satan. And last, but certainly not least, The Last Ronin number 1. I've been wanting this for a very long time. So that was a big part of that trade. Was a lot of those. I don't remember what he got. He got like a first Ben Reilly. That was 9.6 newsstand. Oh, what else did Dino get? I don't remember. I'm drawing a blank. Anyways, what else was there I wanted to touch on? It was just a great event. Got to see all sorts of cool people. Had a blast. Can't wait for next year. And I'm going to probably need the next week to get squeakycleancomics.com up to date because we sold a bunch of stuff. We're going to have to do an audit of the site, pull off everything we sold, add all of these as I clean and press them. And I was talking to RJ, and he got some more comics for me to look at. So I'm going to be cleaning and pressing a bunch the next little while. And maybe sending books back into CGC. I'm going to see. I'm going to reach out to a few people that have tried it to see how they're doing with it and see how that goes. So anyway, that's about it. Yeah, very happy with the show and the turnout and all that jazz. So can't wait for next year. Have a great day.